So quick recap of the last portion of the week. So I'm just going to be doing a voiceover for the bench and for the deficit deads, and then I'm going to use my TikTok audio for the rest. So did 2x2 at 160, it moved increasingly well, and then did 3x12 at 130 kilos. So soon I will be able to start working on more overhead press over the next 4 months. I am doing some rehab for that, which is at the end of this video. So if you do wish to see what I'm doing for rehab, for prehab as well, and to strengthen up those areas and what I do to warm up, you're more than welcome to watch that. That's why I want to help, so you guys can get some ideas for your own session. Deficit deadlifts moved really well. I did end up getting a cramp on Friday. I just got a bit fatigued, so I'm going to be all good by next week. I'm already feeling a lot better today. But yeah, so the last portion of the week is about to start after this second set. Overall, this has been a good week and a good block so far. I have about a week to 2 left before I go on a deload and I go for a new focus. I am going to continue to increase my doubles, but yeah, we'll see how we go. Alright, hope you enjoy. Bit of a rough session today. Second set of 320 without straps. I ended up sort of nearly tearing a callus, so I had to go put straps on, which I then completed the rep again, making it, I sort of had to do like a whole extra rep nearly for my warm-ups, which threw me off a bit when it came to top sets. So I did a set of 2 on 335, moved easy. Second set, I felt like a little bit of a cramp in my hamstring coming into the first rep of this, and it really extenuated to like towards the end of the rep, and it cramped quite badly. So I didn't end up doing a second rep. I did go to try, and I could just feel it cramping too much. After this, did some drop sets on 260. The cramp was still sort of just lingering, so I just kept it to sets of 6 to 8. I just didn't want to overdo it, as I still had squats to go, which were still hampered by the hamstring cramp. But in saying that, I was happy with how they felt in regards to like shoulder mobility and just trying to spread that load a bit more on it. The right shoulder allowed me to get back a little bit further today, though it did tighten up quicker. So what I did was I did 5 sets of 1, just very, very slow tempo on 160. Did a couple of singles on 180, and then just dropped down to 140, as today was sort of just a recovery day. I was feeling a bit tight and a bit trashed because I had a bit of a hectic week, and I did do a couple of rep PRs earlier in the week with deadlifts and bench and stuff like that. Overall, I was happy with this week, and I'm looking forward to stepping it up soon. Most likely going to have a bit of a deload next week, depending on how it all feels Monday. Alright, so today we're just going to go over what I'm doing as part of my rehab at the moment, focuses. So with frozen shoulder and labrum, rotator cuff and bicep damage at the moment, I am limited with range of motion, which I have increased quite a fair bit, where I have got back to somewhat of a full range of motion, still tightness and a bit of pain. What I'm working on doing is slowly being able to load that over time. That's where the increasing incline press is coming until I can get back to a shoulder press. The bench is in that limited range where it feels somewhat comfortable. There is a bit of pain, but I'm maintaining the strength and increasing the endurance in that area. So I'm just going to go through a quick warm-up and what it looks like on more of a rehab focus setting. So what I've found so far with this is I have had some grip problems and a couple of other things. So what I've been focusing on with that is adding in some pinch grip work and some mobility work for that, and seeing if it helps with that radial nerve pain. So to start off with, just resting my hand on top of a dowry stick or something like this, a roller, and just moving it through different ranges of motion. Moving to the side first, allowing for the most comfortable range I have at the moment, and then moving into that more straight up just abduction movement, allowing for that retraction and getting the movement through that scapula as well. Now, when it's rotating in the joint here, I'm trying to reduce the tense and the contraction of the muscle. So I'm allowing the full load to sit on top of this, while my left arm will move it through that range of motion and try and reduce that tension through there. So with this, I'll move it up to the top, do pulses to get that stretch back as far as possible before I move it through the full range in one easy movement. So I go out to the side, and back there. Now, as it's felt better, I have been moving it backwards in this motion. Just getting that movement backwards, as it's going to help with my setup for my squat as time goes on, as I feel a bit more comfortable and can get a bit better grip of the bar. So today it's feeling a little bit tender, but I have a bit more mobility. So because I'm forcing it through the mobility range and allowing it to be more of a manual stretch rather than a forced dynamic, it's just allowing a bit more movement. So with this, doing somewhat of a loo raise. So normally I do this with 10 to 15 kilos. At the moment, this is what feels comfortable, 2.5. This feels really comfortable today. And this is what I've been doing. I have been doing this without weights for the first couple of weeks, just because it was a struggle to even get my shoulder to move this way. So to see it go up, even if it was 1.25 or 2.5, it's massive to me at the moment. So what I'm doing is allowing for full rotation through the shoulder, starting in that position there, coming up, opening up through that part, so abducting the shoulder as I come out, allowing for a traction back down through the scapula, so pushing it down as if I'm benching or deadlifting or squatting, setting for that brace, and moving it through that range of motion where I get the stretch and the slow. So this does fatigue it quite a fair bit, but this is what I need to do to recover and be ready for a comp hopefully in March next year, where I'll do about 75% of what I can normally do. So when I say 75%, that'll be 75% of my strength at the time. It may be stronger than what I'm normally at, or it may be weaker, it just depends. Alrighty, so I've moved through that. I haven't got quite overhead pressing at the moment. So what I'm doing is using a kettlebell or dumbbell, using it to situate here. And what I'm doing is using this left arm to assist it overhead into a hold position, holding that lockout, back, assisting it down. Push up, hold the lockout. So I'm loading that shoulder without having to force the motion or without having to rely on the strength of this shoulder and its current rotation ability to contract safely in that motion. So I'm not worried about anything going wrong with this as I'm assisting it with this left arm. And once I'm at lockout, I'm in the safe position, stable position, holding it, bracing, down. So I'll do between 3 to 5 reps, have a quick rest, go again. I do this on this side solely at the moment. Once this feels a bit more stable, I will use it to assist my left arm up. At the moment, I can do this naturally with the left arm. There, hold. So why do I do it both sides for movements like this and movements like the loo raise or front raises and side raises? The reason why I do this is I don't want to leave out the left side. You want to prehab before you have to rehab. So prehabbing that side or prehabbing any of your body parts through stretches, through mobility work, through just active recovery is key to staying long in whatever sport you want to do. So if you feel like that, like, okay, I'm rehabbing one side, I don't need to rehab the other, I can keep pushing it. It's not always going to be the safest. While you can still train that side, you want to be able to reduce that chance of injury because it's going to be taking more of the load for a fair while. Due to that worry, you don't want to then injure that side and then have to rehab the other side while the other side has been rehabbed or is in current rehab. After that, I then go through to my grip work. So, because I had a bit of a weird problem with grip on my sore shoulder about a week ago, where I went from pulling 340 deadlift, not too much problem being able to hold it for a couple of seconds, to 207 kilos not even being able to be held. So what I will then do for this at the moment is I'm doing some pinch grip. My deadlift as well, I'm still doing raw. I've gone back up to 310 to 320. I will be stepping that up as the grip feels a bit better. So what I'll do, pinch grip, up, row, down, pause, re-grip. So normally I'll do this with chalk because it's a bit better. So what I'm doing is working on moving through that range of motion, trying to not let it slip through my fingers. So rather than doing fast reps, I'm doing the control reps.